On that note, I'm going to kind of hold back some of my own questions and start taking questions from our members. We have sort of Vishisht asking, Priyanka Gandhi will not be taken seriously by her voters unless she contests. This 1 foot indoor, 1 foot out is pointless. Surely she doesn't want to contest first election post the age of 60.
Absolutely. I think Priyanka, I have always said that, Barkha, and I will agree with Saurabh. She's a phenomenally strong asset that the Congress has not leveraged intelligently. The way she was launched in the 2019 Lok Sabha campaign in Uttar Pradesh, I thought was a recipe for a clear disaster because you were throwing her into a snake pit. But as she has emerged, if you look at her campaigning today, she's taking on Modi on the whole issue of Bangal Sutra. I thought the way she actually talked with a great deal of nostalgia and personal emotional pain about the death of her father. I think these are things that resonate with voters. And I personally feel that in Priyanka staying away from the electoral contest, I think it takes away a lot of, shall we say, intensity that the Congress could have brought into the campaign.
So, do you then make the argument that the main reason that the Amethi sort of Amethi vacuum has been created is because they did not want to give Smriti Irani the satisfaction, they didn't want to give the media the satisfaction, or do you think that there was a fear of loss as well?
Well, I can tell you, if you look at the numbers, there is a definite worry in Amethi. One, because there are three BJP MLAs there and two from Samajwadi Party. But we have to remember that in this election, there would be transfer of some Samajwadi Party votes to the Indian National Congress. But however, there is yet a fundamental challenge, which would be that Smriti Irani would have over 5 years, you would assume, create a certain affinity with the people. I mean, there are people who benefit, right? When you have a Lok Sabha MP who spends their resources. And, I think the BJP is particularly smart in investing in a constituency, which is why they don't allow an anti-incumbency to build in. So there must be some worry on that account as well. But I think the prime reason or the principal motivating factor for Rahul to back away from the contest, because from a pure optics point of view, Rahul taking on Smriti Irani made great sense. But there is also the other part, which is the practical, real politic, which is that would it give an advantage to the BJP to say that, listen, he takes on Modi, but first let him beat Smriti Irani at the ground level?
I have another question, Sanjay, from one of our members, Srinivas Iyer. Should Rahul Gandhi contest a second seat, given that he's most likely winning Wayanad? What message does this send to the voters in Wayanad? Now, this is a very genuine question, not because Rahul Gandhi is the first politician to contest two elections, but because imagine for a moment he wins Raebareli. Imagine then he leaves Raebareli, then he goes to Wayanad, or he leaves Wayanad, he comes to Raebareli. And let's say if he leaves Raebareli, then we are back to square one. Who's going to contest from Raebareli? I mean, how do you see this playing out?
You in politics, Barkha, I always believe that you got to bat on the front foot. I think Mr. Iyer's question is valid, that whatever you do in politics, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If Rahul had not contested from Amethi or Raebareli, the BJP would say he's completely chickened out and, he's not got any interest in the Hindi heartland. If you look at the BJP's campaign, Barkha, very often they pick out some quotes of his to say that he believes that southern India is more important or they're more educated than northern India, blah, 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 which may be in a totally different context. I feel that Rahul Gandhi had one choice, though, is to publicly say that, listen, I'm staying with Wayanad. I'm taking a risk. If I lose, I'm out of parliament. I'm confident of winning. And let Priyanka fight from Raebareli. And then you could have had somebody totally new from Amethi. It may not have been Kishori Ji, it could have been somebody else, but you put up a powerful heavyweight candidate against Smriti Irani in Amethi. That was an option. But in politics, you can't fight a campaign worrying about what the opponent will say. In fact, if you're worried about that, then your campaign should be, I'm taking this decision. This is what BJP will say or Modi will say, but this is what I'm going to say when they say it. So, there has to be a little bit of a communication strategy that you can't get nervous. You got to be batting fairly aggressively and not be kind of played out by the opposition.
Rajdeep Sarkar has a question. Sanjay Jha always speaks straight to the point without confabulation. This made him an enemy of the Congress think tank, but I appreciate him for speaking the truth. So, mild segue out of Amethi and Raebareli. Sanjay, you've been punished for speaking the truth. Not enough people are speaking the truth about the Gandhis. That's what you said in our podcast. Is that still happening? Do you see any change, or is that still happening?
Well, I do believe that, I think at the end of the day, the Congress has moved on from, its very ostrich like and fairly lackadaisical approach to national politics that I saw after 2019. I see a greater degree of energy. The Bharat Jodo Yatra has clearly energized not just the top leadership, but even the cadres, which is the most important thing in my opinion. And I think, let me add this point, and thank you very much for that sweet compliment. But ultimately, I think the Congress party needs to not just be a relevant force in Indian politics, it actually has governed the country. So it has to look at itself as an alternative to whichever government is in power. And I do see at the moment a certain resolution, a determination to push back. I hope the Congress party succeeds. And personally, on this issue of Raebareli and Amethi, I want to repeat that point. I would have liked Rahul Gandhi to take Smriti Irani head on. I've written that in an article in the Indian Express. I'm not going to backtrack on that at all. I would have liked Priyanka to contest from Raebareli. The two of them in battle together in the Hindi heartland of Uttar Pradesh. And I would tell you that Narendra Modi would go campaigning against both of them. It would have made not just for good optics, but also a message to the people of India that the Gandhis are extremely serious about biting the bullet and taking the bull by the horns. Nevertheless, it does not mean that you can't still turn the story around.